At 74, Kurt Russell is finally breaking his silence about Kevin Costner, and it's sending waves through Hollywood. But to understand this storm, you've got to go back to where it all started. Kurt Vogel Russell was born on March 17, 1951, in Springfield, Massachusetts, into a world already spinning with fame and performance. His father, Bing Russell, was that familiar face you'd spot in classic westerns and TV shows, while his mother, Louise Julia Russell, added grace and rhythm as a talented dancer. Acting wasn't just something Kurt stumbled into. It was literally in his blood. From the moment he could walk, he was surrounded by cameras, lights, and scripts. Those early days on set didn't just teach him how to act, they shaped his trademark confidence and that effortless cool that's still talked about today. As a kid, he balanced baseball games with time spent behind movie cameras, giving him both grit and showmanship. That rare mix of discipline, charm, and natural swagger would one day turn him into one of the most magnetic stars Hollywood's ever seen. And get this, Kurt didn't just ease into the spotlight. He exploded into it. By the early 1960s, he was already making appearances in hit TV shows and Disney films, stealing scenes left and right with his sharp humor and charisma. Even Walt Disney himself saw something special, personally jotting down Kurt's name as one to watch. That kind of blessing from the legend himself was no small thing, and it only turned the buzz around young Kurt into a full-blown frenzy. Early fame can be a double-edged sword. It can lock you in a box before you even know who you are. But Kurt Russell wasn't about to let Hollywood decide his path. Instead of getting stuck in that child star label, he broke away and chased another passion just as strong: baseball. And let's be real, his skills weren't just for show. The man could play. He went on to compete in the minor leagues, proving he wasn't some Hollywood kid just pretending to be an athlete. But then, one devastating shoulder injury shut that dream down for good. Still, that moment didn't end him. It rebuilt him. With that same determination, he came roaring back to acting with more grit and purpose than ever before. The 1970s marked his full-circle comeback, and Hollywood wasn't ready for this version of Kurt. This wasn't the charming Disney kid anymore. This was a grown man with edge, charisma, and a hunger to take over the screen. Everything changed when he teamed up with the legendary director, John Carpenter. Together, they didn't just make movies. They redefined cool. In Escape from New York, Kurt turned heads as the one-eyed outlaw Snake Plissken, setting a whole new standard for the modern anti-hero. And then came The Thing, where his intense, calm, and razor-sharp energy carried the film into cinematic history. Kurt and Carpenter didn't just create blockbusters, they shaped entire genres. And what made Kurt unstoppable was his refusal to stay in one lane. He could be the action rebel, the comedic lead, the cowboy, or the heartfelt everyman, switching gears like it was nothing. Movies like Big Trouble in Little China, Tombstone, Overboard, Miracle, and Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2 proved that Kurt Russell wasn't just an actor. He was a force of nature. He could make you laugh, tear up, and sit at the edge of your seat all in one scene. Fans loved that mix of humor, toughness, and warmth, that rare spark that made him feel like someone you could actually know, even as he dominated the screen with that calm, commanding energy. Critics couldn't get enough either. Whether he was stepping into the shoes of real-life heroes like Coach Herb Brooks or diving headfirst into wild sci-fi chaos, Kurt brought the same intensity, honesty, and heart every single time. He had that rare gift. You believed every word, every look, every move. As the 2000s rolled in, Kurt showed that time had nothing on him. His acting chops stayed sharp and his energy never faded. In 2001, he took things up a notch with 3,000 Miles to Graceland, playing the unpredictable Michael Zane, a smooth-talking Elvis impersonator caught in a dangerous casino heist. It was a wild ride of action, dark humor, and swagger, and Kurt absolutely owned it. He brought that magnetic blend of charm and danger that made you root for him even when you knew he was walking on the edge. And just when people thought they'd seen it all, Kurt flipped the script again. By 2004, he traded chaos for inspiration in Miracle, taking on one of his most heartfelt roles ever. As Coach Herb Brooks, he captured the spirit of leadership, discipline, and determination that fueled the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team's legendary story. It was proof once again, that Kurt Russell could master any genre and make it unforgettable. Kurt Russell's portrayal of Coach Herb Brooks in Miracle was something special. He brought to life the no-nonsense, sharp-minded leader who took a group of underdogs and pushed them all the way to an unforgettable gold medal victory against the powerhouse Soviet team. Kurt delivered that perfect balance, fiery intensity mixed with quiet emotion, showing Brooks' brilliance, discipline, and deep care for his players. You could feel his drive, his frustration, and his pride in every scene. That role didn't just boost Kurt's credibility, it cemented his place as a serious actor who could turn real-life stories into cinematic gold. His dedication, precision, and authenticity made it clear he wasn't just playing roles, he was living them. Then in 2007, he surprised fans again by taking a darker turn in Quentin Tarantino's Grindhouse, specifically the Death Proof segment. Here, he became Mike, a mysterious stuntman, with charm and danger mixed into one unforgettable package. The role gave the movie a pulse of menace and unpredictability, showing how easily Kurt could blur the line between villain and anti-hero. He carried that same effortless confidence, but with a chilling twist that had audiences glued to the screen. That same year, he shifted gears completely with Cutlass, a smaller project that leaned on emotion and heart. Kurt proved again that he could drop the tough guy image and dive into personal, intimate storytelling, all while staying completely believable. His ability to slide between wildly different genres kept his career fresh and unstoppable. By 2012, Kurt's consistency was still unmatched. He starred in Touchback alongside Brian Presley, a heartfelt drama written and directed by Don Handfield. The film explored second chances, nostalgia, and how one decision can alter an entire life. Kurt's presence grounded the story with real emotional weight. He didn't just act, he anchored the film, giving it soul and maturity. From adrenaline-fueled thrillers to inspiring biopics, from edgy indie flicks to heartwarming dramas, Kurt proved again and again that his range was limitless. His versatility made him timeless. A rare artist admired by both older fans who grew up watching him and newer generations discovering him for the first time. And while his career kept soaring, his personal life saw some major turns too. Back in 1979, he married actress Susan Hubley, marking a key moment during his rise in Hollywood. The two first met while filming the biographical movie Elvis, where sparks flew both on and off the screen. Their chemistry was undeniable, and soon it turned into a real-life love story. Their marriage brought balance and stability during the height of Kurt's demanding career. In 1980, the couple welcomed their son, Boston Russell, adding new joy and purpose to Kurt's world. Becoming a father gave him a whole new outlook. He wasn't just chasing scripts and awards anymore. He was building a life and legacy. But even strong love stories can face challenges. By 1983, after 4 years together, Kurt and Susan decided to part ways. The separation, while painful, remained mature and respectful, a reflection of who Kurt was as a man. Instead of drama or bitterness, they both moved forward with dignity, setting an example of grace under pressure. After their split, both Kurt Russell and Susan Hubley moved forward gracefully, choosing growth over gossip and respect over resentment. It was a clean break that allowed them to focus on their own careers and personal happiness, keeping everything grounded and fair. But right after that chapter closed, fate had something incredible waiting for Kurt. The start of one of Hollywood's most legendary love stories, because not long after, Kurt stepped into what would become an unshakable partnership with actress Goldie Hawn, a bond that has lasted for decades. Their connection didn't come from headlines or hype. It was built on real admiration, humor, and a spark that's still alive to this day. What's wild is that their story technically began way earlier, all the way back in 1968. They first crossed paths on the set of the one and only genuine original family band. Back then, Kurt was just a teenager and Goldie was at the start of her own rise. But that early meeting planted the first seed of a connection that would blossom years later into something truly special. Fast forward to the early 1980s, when they reunited for Swing Shift and later Overboard, two films that didn't just entertain fans, they captured something real. The chemistry between Kurt and Goldie felt effortless, playful, affectionate, and so authentic that people could feel it jump off the screen. It wasn't just acting. It was love unfolding right before everyone's eyes. Their real-life connection only deepened when they welcomed their son, Wyatt Russell, on July 10th, 1986. Growing up with Kurt's cool, rugged energy and Goldie's warm, vibrant personality gave Wyatt the perfect blend of creativity and discipline. It's no surprise that he eventually found his own path in the entertainment world. Watching his parents handle fame with humor and balance gave him a living example of how to chase success without losing yourself. Over the years, Kurt and Goldie built a lifestyle that perfectly mirrors who they are: grounded, adventurous, and deeply connected. They've owned homes across North America, each one reflecting a piece of their shared story. In Vancouver, they enjoy quiet nature and peace. In Snowmass Village, Colorado, they escape into mountain views and snowy getaways. Their Manhattan place keeps them close to city life, while their Brentwood home in Los Angeles gives them calm and privacy. And when they want to unwind, their Palm Desert retreat offers sunshine and serenity. Every home marks a different era in their journey, proof that they've found that rare balance between fame and real life. They've built something that's both glamorous and grounded, surrounded by family, laughter, and love that has stood the test of time. Now, at 74, Kurt Russell, a Hollywood icon with over 6 decades in the business, has finally spoken out about one person fans have always linked him with: Kevin Costner. And his words come with the kind of honesty that only a man who's seen it all can deliver. After a lifetime of navigating fame, heartbreak, and redemption, Kurt's take on it all just might surprise everyone. Kurt Russell has always been known for keeping it real. No filters, no fluff. So when he finally spoke about Kevin Costner, he didn't hold anything back. He wasn't just talking as a fellow actor, but as someone who's been through the same Hollywood battlefield. The highs, the doubts, and the grind that never stops. Russell spoke with that cool confidence he's famous for, giving Costner his flowers in the most genuine way possible. He praised Kevin's discipline, focus, and that rare ability to keep evolving in an industry that changes every few years. But what really turned heads was the honesty behind his words. Kurt didn't flatter for the sake of sound bites. He meant every bit of it. He said Kevin has that rare gift, the kind of screen presence that pulls people straight into the story. When Costner's on screen, you don't just watch him, you feel him. He doesn't just act a role, he lives it. That's a level of authenticity you can't fake, and even fewer can sustain over decades of fame and pressure. Those words confirmed what many fans had already suspected. There's real mutual respect between these two Hollywood heavyweights. They've both built legacies based not on trends or flash, but on raw talent and consistency. Kurt pointed out that while a lot of actors chase viral fame or flashy gimmicks to stay relevant, Costner has always stood out because of something deeper: pure dedication to storytelling. He understands the art form from the inside out, connecting with audiences beyond looks or fame. It's about truth, emotion, and purpose. And Kurt clearly sees that in him. He even opened up about some of their personal interactions over the years, moments on set that revealed who Kevin really is behind the camera. Kurt recalled seeing Costner's laser-sharp focus firsthand, saying that even after decades in the business, Kevin approaches every project like it's his first time on set. That kind of hunger doesn't fade easily. It's what separates legends from the rest. In a world full of ego and competition, hearing one icon speak so respectfully about another was a refreshing reminder that real greatness recognizes greatness. Kurt Russell's comments about Kevin Costner didn't just end with professional praise. They revealed something deeper about the kind of men both of them have become after decades in the spotlight. Behind the glitz, awards, and blockbuster success, Kurt wanted people to understand what really matters when the cameras stop rolling: integrity, resilience, and staying true to yourself. He explained that Hollywood can be a tough place where popularity shifts overnight and where some actors lose their spark chasing the next big moment. But in Kevin, Kurt saw something familiar: a quiet strength and a refusal to bend just to please the crowd. It's that unshakable authenticity that connects both men, two veterans who've weathered fame without letting it change who they are. Kurt talked about how they both learned the same hard truth: success means nothing if you lose your sense of purpose. Over the years, both he and Costner have chosen roles that carry meaning, stories that speak to real human experiences, rather than chasing whatever trend is hot at the moment. When you've been around this long, he said, you stop worrying about what's popular and start focusing on what's real. He admired the way Kevin manages to bring depth to every project, whether it's a Western, a sports drama, or a heartfelt character study. To Kurt, that kind of consistency doesn't come from luck. It comes from dedication and a lifetime of learning the craft from the inside out. And that's something Kurt relates to deeply because his own career followed the same rhythm: ups, downs, comebacks, and constant reinvention. Their shared respect also comes from understanding sacrifice. Both men balanced fame with fatherhood and family life, choosing privacy over chaos more than once. Kurt mentioned how the older he got, the more he respected Costner's way of handling fame, not as a weapon, but as a tool to tell stories that last. It's that mature, grounded perspective that only comes with time, experience, and a few scars along the way. When he reflected on their journeys, Kurt said the most valuable thing he's learned, and what he sees in Costner too, is the power of showing up no matter what. Not every movie will be a hit. Not every review will be glowing. But what defines you is how you handle the in-between moments. The quiet years, the rebuilds, the comebacks. That's what makes this moment so powerful. It wasn't just one Hollywood icon talking about another. It was one craftsman recognizing another for decades of hard work and humility. In an industry that can eat people alive, both Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner have stayed grounded, authentic, and respected. The kind of legacy most stars only dream of. Their stories prove something rare, that real legends don't need headlines to stay relevant. They just keep showing up, doing the work, and letting their truth shine through every role, every story, and every era they touch. Kurt Russell didn't stop at surface-level compliments. He went all in, peeling back the layers of what makes Kevin Costner not just a star, but a true craftsman. He spoke with that calm, no-nonsense tone that fans know so well, describing Costner as the kind of actor who carries the weight of entire productions on his shoulders without ever losing his cool. Kurt said that while the spotlight can easily twist people's egos, Kevin somehow manages to stay grounded, approachable, and refreshingly real. That, in Kurt's eyes, takes a rare kind of discipline that fame can't teach. He described how Costner walks into a room with quiet confidence, never flashy, never loud, yet everyone knows he's in charge. That's leadership without arrogance, Kurt said, and you could tell he meant it. It's that kind of steady professionalism that leaves a lasting mark long after the cameras stop rolling. Costner doesn't need to dominate the conversation. His work speaks for him. And that's the kind of legacy most actors can only dream of building. Kurt also opened up about something fans don't usually hear: the quiet camaraderie that still exists among actors from their generation. They came up in a time when Hollywood was changing fast, the studio system fading, independent voices rising, and the pressure to stay relevant always looming. Through those years, egos clashed, trends shifted, and the competition never slowed down. Yet through all of that chaos, Russell said, Costner managed to keep his integrity intact and his heart in the right place. He talked about how rare it is to see someone maintain success while staying kind and cooperative. Kevin doesn't get defensive, he doesn't get combative. He just gets the job done, Kurt explained. That's the kind of professionalism I admire. Coming from someone like Russell, who spent over 6 decades surviving every version of Hollywood, those words carried real weight. They weren't empty compliments, they were a veteran's salute to another master of the game. Russell went on to reflect on what separates lasting talent from fleeting fame. He said he's seen it all: the overnight sensations who burn bright and fade fast, the ambitious ones who lose themselves chasing the next headline, and the few who quietly keep building something real year after year. Costner, he said, falls into that last category. He's got that rare mix: humility, control, and passion. He's not chasing trends, he's chasing truth. Kurt also touched on Costner's remarkable sense of timing, both dramatic and comedic. He said there's something almost musical about the way Kevin delivers a performance. There's a rhythm to what he does, Kurt explained, his voice full of admiration. A pace that feels natural, but is incredibly hard to pull off. You don't see the work, but you feel the result. That's real artistry. That observation hit fans hard. because it revealed something deep about how true respect forms in Hollywood. It's not about who makes the most noise or racks up the biggest box office numbers. It's about consistency, creativity, and the ability to keep improving no matter how long you've been in the game. Russell said Costner represents that mindset perfectly. A man who's constantly evolving, never stagnant, never satisfied with good enough. He also spoke about their off-screen moments, the times when cameras weren't rolling and they could simply be two artists sharing a mutual understanding. "We've crossed paths on different projects," Kurt said. "And every time, what stands out to me is his focus. Kevin prepares like it's the first day of his career, even after decades in the business. That kind of drive," Russell noted, "is what separates legends from the rest. That inner fire that refuses to fade, even when you've already achieved everything." But what struck people the most wasn't just the praise, it was the tone. Kurt's reflections felt raw and heartfelt, the kind of thing that can only come from someone who's lived through the same grind. He wasn't talking like a fan. He was speaking as a peer who knows exactly what it takes to stay relevant, respected, and real in a world built on illusion. Then Kurt zoomed out to talk about the bigger picture, the long game of Hollywood. He said that the industry often forgets how relationships shape everything. "Talent can get you in the door," he said, "but loyalty keeps you in the room." Over the years, he's seen plenty of people rise and fall, not because they lacked skill, but because they lost touch with the values that keep you grounded. "Kevin's career," he said with a serious tone, "is proof of what happens when you stay true to yourself, your craft, and your people." Kurt explained that consistency and loyalty carry their own quiet kind of power. In his words, "There's real value in just doing your job well, without drama, without ego." He said that's the kind of respect that lasts the longest, not the kind that headlines create, but the kind that's earned quietly from people who've watched you work year after year. By the time Kurt finished, his reflection had gone far beyond Costner himself. It became a window into the soul of what keeps Hollywood's legends going strong. He showed that behind the fame and the flashing lights, there's a real brotherhood of artists who still believe in hard work, mutual respect, and staying humble no matter how high you climb. At 74, Kurt Russell's words carried the wisdom of someone who's seen the best and worst of fame and learned from both. His admiration for Kevin Costner wasn't just about talent. It was about values, legacy, and the shared understanding between two men who've given their lives to storytelling. They've both built careers defined not by noise, but by quiet excellence. It's not every day fans get to hear one Hollywood icon open up like that about another, especially with such honesty and warmth. Russell's words painted a picture of Costner as more than a star, as an artist who embodies resilience, integrity, and real humanity. And honestly, that's what makes moments like this so powerful. It's not just about movie history, it's about people who've earned respect the hard way by showing up, delivering, and never losing sight of what matters most. So now it's your turn. What do you think of Kurt Russell's take on Kevin Costner? Do you agree with his view that true artistry comes from consistency and integrity? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you felt the honesty in Kurt's words. Share this with someone who loves real Hollywood stories. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of legends. See you on the next one.